1929, Berlin. A rabbi visits Albert Einstein, the most famous scientist in the world. The rabbi asks, "Professor Einstein, do you believe in God?" Einstein looks up from his equations. The rabbi expects, "No, I am a man of science." Instead, Einstein says, "Yes, I believe in Spinoza's God." The rabbi is confused. Spinoza? The heretic? Einstein nods. Spinoza's God. The God who reveals himself in the harmony of all that exists. Not a God who concerns himself with the fates and actions of human beings. The room goes silent. Because Einstein just said something that changes everything. He believes in God. But not the God anyone expected. This is pantheism. The philosophy that says, God is not separate from the universe. God is the universe. Every atom. Every star. Every law of physics. And you are not separate from God. You are God experiencing itself. Einstein did not just believe this. He lived it. Every single day. And understanding how he lived this philosophy reveals why he saw the world differently than anyone else. Here is what most people think about God. God is a being. Separate from creation. Watching from above. Judging. Intervening. This is theism. Then there is atheism. No God exists. The universe is random. Meaningless. But pantheism says something completely different. God and universe are not two things. They are one thing. The tree outside your window? That is God. The oxygen in your lungs? That is God. The neurons firing in your brain? That is God. Not because God created them. Because God is them. There is no separation. This shaped how Einstein lived every moment of his life. Pantheism comes from two Greek words. Pan means all. Theos means God. All is God. But the modern version comes from Baruch Spinoza. Born in Amsterdam in 1632. Jewish family. Brilliant student. By age 23, Spinoza started asking dangerous questions. He studied the Torah, the Talmud, and concluded, the God described in these texts cannot be real. Why? Because the texts describe God as having emotions. Anger, jealousy, love, regret. But Spinoza said, if God is infinite and perfect, God cannot have human emotions. Emotions imply change. Change implies imperfection. So what is God? Spinoza wrote, Deus sive natura. God or nature. Same thing. Different words. Everything that exists is one substance. One reality. You can call it God. You can call it nature. You can call it the universe. But it is all one thing. And you are part of it. Not separate. Part of the whole. The Jewish community was horrified. In 1656, they excommunicated Spinoza. Banned him from the synagogue. He was 23 years old. He spent the rest of his life alone. Grinding lenses to survive. Writing philosophy that almost no one read. He died in 1677. Age 44. Forgotten. But 250 years later, Einstein discovered his work. And it changed everything. Einstein was born in 1879. Jewish family in Germany. Not religious. His parents rarely went to synagogue. As a child, Einstein briefly became religious. Read the Bible. Prayed. But by age 12, he stopped. He read science books. Realized that scientific explanations and traditional religious stories offered different perspectives on reality. This deeply affected him. He moved away from organized religion, though he never stopped wondering about existence. But he was not an atheist. He felt something. Looking at the stars. Studying mathematics. He felt awe. Wonder. A sense that there was something greater. Then in his 20s, someone gave him Spinoza's Ethics. Einstein read it. Then read it again. Then again. He wrote to a friend, I believe in Spinoza's God, who reveals himself in the lawful harmony of the world, not in a God who concerns himself with the fate and doings of mankind. This became Einstein's religion. Not belief in a personal God. But recognition that the universe itself is sacred. Every law of physics is a glimpse into the mind of God. His job as a scientist was not to conquer nature, but to understand it. To read the language God wrote in mathematics. So how did Einstein live pantheism? Not just believe it. Live it. First, his work was worship. Einstein said repeatedly, I want to know God's thoughts. The rest are details. He was being literal. When he worked on relativity, quantum theory, unified field theory, he saw himself as reading the mind of God. The equations were not inventions. They were discoveries. Uncovering what already exists. The structure of reality. Which is the structure of God. He approached his work with reverence. Humility. When he made a breakthrough, he did not celebrate his genius. He celebrated the beauty of what he found. The harmony. The elegance. He would say, God is subtle, but not malicious. Meaning, the universe is complex. But it follows rules. Beautiful rules. And those rules are sacred. This was not career ambition. This was spiritual practice. Second, he practiced daily connection through music. Einstein played violin. Not as a hobby. As spiritual practice. He said, I often think in music. I live my daydreams in music. I see my life in terms of music. When stuck on a problem, he would stop. Pick up his violin. Play Mozart. Bach. Beethoven. Why? Because music is pure harmony. Mathematical relationships expressed as sound. Music was his meditation. His way of remembering, I am not separate from the universe. I am part of the harmony. Colleagues would visit his home. Find him playing violin alone. Eyes closed. Lost in the music. They thought it was relaxation. But for Einstein, it was prayer. Not prayer to a God above. Prayer is merging with the harmony of existence. When asked why he loved Mozart, he said, Mozart's music is so pure and beautiful that I see it as a reflection of the inner beauty of the universe. Music was his evidence that the universe is not random. It has structure, beauty, God. Third, he lived with radical humility. Fame came early. By 1919, Einstein was the most famous scientist alive. Newspapers called him the smartest man in the world. He could have embraced it. Instead, he was uncomfortable. He rejected titles. Rejected honors when he could. Lived simply. Why? Pantheism. If everything is God, then his intelligence was not his. It was the universe expressing itself through him. He was just a vessel. He wrote, 100 times every day I remind myself that my inner and outer life depend on the labors of other men, living and dead, and that I must exert myself in order to give in the same measure as I have received. This is pantheist humility. You are not special. You are part of the whole. A wave in the ocean. The wave is not separate from the ocean. It is ocean. So any achievement is not yours. It is the universe moving through you. Einstein dressed simply. Refused to wear socks. Hated formal events. Because formality implies hierarchy. Separation. Pantheism rejects that. We are all the same substance. All God. All one. Fourth, he found God in nature. Einstein took long walks. Daily. Through the woods near Princeton. Alone. No destination. Just walking. Looking at trees. Sky. Birds. He said, look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. For a pantheist, nature is not a resource. Nature is sacred. Literally. That tree is not separate from God. It is God. That river. That mountain. That insect. All God. All sacred. He would stop during walks. Stare at a leaf. A flower. Marvel at it. Colleagues thought he was daydreaming. But he was practicing pantheism. Recognizing, this leaf and I are made of the same substance. Same atoms. Same energy. Same God. There is no separation. Modern people walk through nature on phones. Distracted. Einstein walked through nature as prayer. Every step. Every breath. Communion with God. Not praying to God. Being with God. Because he was God. And so was the forest. Fifth, he rejected materialism. Einstein became wealthy. Royalties from his work. Speaking fees. He could have lived in luxury. Instead, he lived in a modest house. Wore the same clothes for years. Gave most of his money away. Why? Pantheism says, accumulation is illusion. You cannot own anything. Because ownership implies separation. But pantheism says there is no mine and yours. There is only the whole. Hoarding money is like one wave trying to hoard ocean. It makes no sense. Einstein saw wealth as responsibility. He had access to resources. So he redistributed them. Supported young scientists. Funded refugees fleeing difficult circumstances. Gave to peace organizations. Not charity. Recognition. These people are me. I am them. Helping them is helping the whole. Which is helping God. Which is helping myself. Same thing. Sixth, he faced death without fear. 1955, Einstein is 76. His aorta is rupturing. Doctors say they can operate. Einstein refuses. I want to go when I want. It is tasteless to prolong life artificially. I have done my share. It is time to go. I will do it elegantly. Why no fear? Pantheism. Death is not the end. Death is transformation. The wave does not die. It returns to ocean. And it was always ocean. Separation was illusion. Einstein said years earlier, the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. If time is illusion, death is illusion. The atoms that make up your body do not disappear. They transform. Return to the universe. Which is God. Which is eternal. He died April 18, 1955. His last words were in German. The nurse did not speak German, so his final words are unknown. But those who knew him believe he died at peace. Not because he believed in heaven, but because he knew, I am returning to the whole, which I never left. Because separation was always illusion. Now let's understand pantheism from a scientific lens. Modern physics is approaching what Spinoza said 400 years ago. Quantum field theory says, everything is not made of particles. It is made of fields. Quantum fields permeate all of space. Particles are just excitations of these fields. Waves in the field. Which means, there are no separate objects. Only one field. Expressing itself in different forms. Einstein spent his last 30 years trying to prove this. His unified field theory. He wanted to show, gravity, electromagnetism, all forces are different expressions of one fundamental field. He never completed it. But modern string theory suggests he was right. Everything is vibrations of one underlying reality. This is pantheism in physics. Not just philosophy. Scientific description of reality. Then there is ecology. Ecosystems show, nothing exists independently. The tree needs soil. Soil needs bacteria. Bacteria need organic matter. Organic matter needs animals. Animals need plants. Plants need sun. Sun needs fusion. Fusion needs gravity. Gravity needs mass. Mass needs quantum fields. Everything depends on everything. Remove one element, the whole collapses. Because it is a whole, not a collection of parts. One system. What you do to one part, you do to all. This is pantheism as ecology. You cannot harm the environment without harming yourself. Because you are the environment. Separation is illusion. Here is how you practice pantheism in daily life. Step 1, morning recognition. When you wake up, before checking your phone, pause. Look at your hand. Really look at it. Those atoms were once inside stars. Billions of years ago. Stars exploded. Scattered atoms across space. Those atoms formed planets. Evolved into cells. Became you. Your hand is stardust. Literally. Recognize, I am the universe experiencing itself. Not separate. 1. Step 2, nature as temple. Once a week, go outside. Forest. Park. Beach. Anywhere natural. No phone. No music. Just walk. Slowly. Look at everything. Practice seeing them not as separate objects, but as expressions of the same substance you are made of. You are not observing nature. You are nature. Observing itself. Step 3, work as worship. Whatever you do. Coding. Teaching. Building. Cleaning. Do it with reverence. Not because it serves you. Because it serves the whole. You are the universe expressing itself through action. Change your mindset from, I am doing this task, to, the universe is doing this through me. Feel the difference. Step 4, ego dissolution. When you achieve something, pause before celebrating. Recognize, this was not me. This was the whole expressing itself through me. I am a channel. Not the source. When someone insults you, pause before reacting. Recognize, that person is me. Same substance. Different form. What they do to me, they do to themselves. Because we are one. This dissolves anger through recognition. Modern culture is built on separation. You are an individual. Compete. Accumulate. Win. Pantheism says this is insane. You are competing with yourself. Accumulating for yourself. Winning against yourself. Because there is no other. Only one substance. Expressing itself in infinite forms. The loneliness epidemic. The environmental crisis. The mental health collapse. All stem from separation. We think we are isolated selves. Fighting for survival. But pantheism says, you were never alone. You are the universe. How can the universe be lonely? It is everything. The solution is not more connection. The solution is recognition. You are already connected. You always were. Separation was the illusion. Einstein saw this. Lived it. And it gave him peace. Albert Einstein died 69 years ago. But his way of living pantheism remains. His equations are still used. His humility still studied. But more importantly, his recognition remains. That reality is one. That separation is illusion. That you are not a small self navigating a large universe. You are the universe. Experiencing itself from one perspective. Quantum physics proves it. Einstein lived it. Not as theory. As practice. Daily. He woke up knowing, I am God experiencing itself. He worked knowing, I am uncovering God's thoughts. He played violin knowing, I am harmony recognizing harmony. He walked in nature knowing, I am nature walking through itself. He died knowing, I am returning to what I always was. The whole. The one. God. Your pantheist practice begins now. Not someday. Now. Look at your surroundings. The walls. The device in your hand. The air you breathe. Recognize, all of this is the same substance. The same energy. The same God. Just expressing itself in different forms. You are not separate from any of it. You are it. The universe looking at itself. When you help someone today, recognize, you are helping yourself. When you harm someone, recognize, you are harming yourself. Not metaphorically. Literally. Because there is only one substance. One reality. One God. And you are it. Einstein knew this. Spinoza knew this. The mystics knew this. Now you know it. The question is, will you live it? Will you walk through life recognizing the sacred in everything? Will you work as worship? Will you see others as yourself? Because once you truly see this, once you truly live pantheism, fear dissolves. Loneliness dissolves. Separation dissolves. And what remains is what always was. The one. The whole. The eternal. God. And you are it.